All right, so we're on episode 6 now.
Episode 6.
Yeah, we're like halfway through.
Yeah.
This is pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things to talk about. So if you haven't checked out episode 5, right, check it out. That was on basically
Professional. Be
being
professional. And how much it matters.
Yep,
Yeah.
how people are viewing you, right? What does that mean for your growth? So this is going to be about like the physical side of things.
The
right?
elements of professionalism, right?
So what role do your vehicles, your signs, your actual like physical branding actually play with the overall feel of your brand, right? Like what is that accomplishing? And how does it feed the growth of your business?
Does it help or hinder your growth?
Yeah. Yeah. So like how many branded vehicles do you think we see every day?
Oh, gosh. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you do something because then you notice more things, like you buy a certain type of car and then you notice more of that car on the road, right?
Yeah.
So we do graphics, so we notice a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, they're everywhere. Like there is vehicles everywhere that have some sort of branding. Maybe it's not great branding. Maybe it's really good branding.
There's something on it.
There's something on it.
Yep.
They're trying to send a message.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think it's there's a National Outdoor Advertising Association, and they break down like the cost of vehicle graphics, and it's kind of interesting to look into that. Your impressions are ridiculous on vehicle graphics. It's something like, I mean, it depends on where you're at and where you drive, how many miles, that sort of thing. You have to take that into account. But like the average is somewhere between 30,000 and 70,000 impressions per day, which is stupid.
That's crazy.
Like if you're running Google ads right now,
there is nothing else you can do that will give you that much. Like
that's a lot of exposure.
Yeah, return on your investment.
Like when you're trying to do like web ads and you're like, I need it to target these areas, or whatever. And like when you're driving your vehicle around, it's literally targeting your area.
Yeah,
your business is in.
exactly.
Like, you can't screw that up.
Yeah, right.
Wherever you're at,
Can't
that's
screw
it.
that up.
Yeah,
Right.
and like when you look at like the cost, break that down too. Like what's an average truck as far as a full wrap, like in the $4,500 range, depending on if it's a roof or not or whatever, on the size of the truck. But $4,500, and it's going to last you 5 years pretty easily. And a lot of times, like just talking about this with somebody recently, if you're a service-based business, you're probably going to mile out your vehicle before your wrap wears out.
Yes.
These guys that drive 30 to 50,000 miles a year, a 5-year-old vehicle is pretty whooped after 5 years. Like
exactly.
We see them, we take the wraps off of them. And, so $4,500 in 5 years, that's less than $1,000 a year, right? So you're spending
it's like $75 a month.
Yeah.
To have a mobile billboard and getting 30,000 to 70,000 impressions a day.
Say 30,000 impressions a day.
Yeah,
right?
It's crazy.
So this is the other thing about it. When can you turn it off? You don't.
No, so you can have it parked at your house in your driveway, and it works on the weekend too, right? Like even if you're not working.
We've had it happen before where we've wrapped someone's trailer, is the one I'm thinking of. And they live in a town that's about 20 minutes away from here, so relatively close. And we presented the trailer, finished. Client was super duper happy with it. We did all the design work and stuff in-house, and he got a lot of input on it, and we really changed his brand into something that he was happier with after doing this. He picked it up and he started driving it home, right? And I move on to the next thing, and I'm sitting here and I'm just working at the computer, and I get a text message from another one of our clients, and he takes a picture of the guy's trailer in the adjacent town 20 minutes away and says, check this one out. Like he's sending it to me like, dude,
this is cool.
This is a good looking wrap. Yeah. Like, have you guys seen this? And I was like, yeah, we just did it. It's 20 minutes old on the road.
He just left our shop.
Yeah. So coolest thing that's ever happened to me, right? Like I got a text from one of my other clients that saw the trailer that I just wrapped that was like, this is awesome. Now all of a sudden I get to screenshot that text, not like giving the guy, like whoever texted it to him, but I gave him a screenshot of the text, like, dude, your wrap
already getting attention.
Working. Yeah. Somebody just texted me your wrap and they said how awesome it looked. So Yeah. So that one's working really well for that guy.
See, and like that's what we're talking about. Like that warm fuzzy that gives us so much excitement.
Yeah.
Like
It's
seeing
cool.
the it's not about the money. It's about the fact that we could help him solve his problem.
Yep.
And as soon as he left our shop,
It
he's
worked.
already reaping the
It
benefits
started
of,
working.
doing what he's doing. So
Yeah.
that is like why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Like
And
right
then
there.
so then like the other thing, so we just asked like how many branded vehicles do you see? Now, how many unbranded
Oh,
vehicles do you
you
see?
know what's funny? Those stand out more to me.
Because we do what we
Because
do.
we do what we
Yeah.
do, but, like,
Right.
I noticed the plain white van,
Hmm.
and not more because I notice graphics too, but, like, I see the plain white van and I'm like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
dude, don't drive around the free candy
Yeah.
van."
And like what would be the easiest thing in the world would be to like every time we see a plain vehicle,
Yeah, give him a business card
just to
or
reach out to them. Right.
yeah,
But how do you do that?
yeah,
I don't know who it is.
yeah.
Like, especially if driving down
Well, it's not
I-75.
like you wanna, like, walk up to them. Well, if it's at a gas station, it's still awkward, right? Like, there's
Kind
still
of.
that, like, I don't know.
Well,
I guess if you're
and
it goes back to the professionalism. If you're dressed, if you have your stuff on and you look good
yeah.
and you hand them something that's really
Yeah.
nice and well done, then I guess it's not
Yeah.
as
You're
awkward.
not that pre-vest creepy Amazon
Right.
worker walking up to somebody and they don't know if they're gonna get
And I
mugged
guess you are
or
walking up to somebody who has a white van. So, I mean,
yeah, you don't know
how
what you're doing
well,
either.
how mad can they really
Yeah.
be at you?
Yeah, we're talking about that professional identity and people
Yeah.
assuming things. That's a common assumption that
Yeah.
there's
The
free
white van
candy.
is
Yeah.
free candy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Put the graphics on there so
that's
they
a
don't think
kidnap
you
truck.
have free candy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean like um there's so many missed opportunities in that branding. We've had like so there's a company that we work with locally that didn't have branding on any of their stuff for as long as they were around, man. And they got kind of a logo and they reached out to us to see if they could put the logo on the car. And it's a really complicated logo to put on a door of a car. We had to use cut vinyl for it. We couldn't just print and stick, right? Um,
But that's
but
another one that got
yeah, every time I see him, like,
instant
well, not so much now. It's been like
reward.
6 years since we started doing that stuff for him. But like for the next like 2 years, every time I saw that guy, he was like, I can't believe how many people say that they notice, my trucks, my vans, things like that around. I think all we did for him like was 3 vans, 4 vans,
Yeah,
something like that.
so
So it's not even his entire fleet. We just
mhm.
did the ones that he wanted to do, and some of his stuff was older, and he didn't want to put the money into it, and that's fine, whatever. But even at that, for like, what does it cost to put spot graphics on
Well,
a door?
that's what I was gonna say. Like, we mentioned the full wrap and
Yeah.
how much it costs a month to do a full wrap, but we can work with any budget. Like, there's so many different levels
Oh,
of having something on the side of your driver door is better than a plain white van.
yeah,
Like, start somewhere.
yeah.
Like,
Think
you
of
know,
the missed ROI for just driving around something for like I don't know. I can for $500 I can make your fleet vehicle look like it's part of your fleet, not just a
right.
separate vehicle out
And it goes
there.
back to the professionalism. Like,
Yeah,
if you're not putting the money into your business to represent yourself properly, how is the customer going to feel about you coming into their
hmm,
home or their business? You know, it's just it's a perception. It doesn't take a lot to
yeah,
take away
yeah,
that insecurity with
yeah.
people, you know?
And I think like so the other thing to look at too is like with vehicles in particular, just talking about like that dollar cost of the advertising, right? Um, like what it's doing is it's giving you a lot of local visibility. And I think where some people misread what a wrap is or what vehicle graphics are, is they expect like an instant like return. Like people should be calling them left and right.
Mhm.
But like I think those are the customers that want to put their phone number huge on the
Mhm.
side of their vehicle. And that's not necessarily it. And like we've had to reframe that for people quite often. Like when was the last time you were driving down the road and you saw something and you called the phone number that was on
Well,
that vehicle?
one, how did you remember it? Two, did you have time to take a picture? Probably not.
Yeah.
So, like, how are you
Yeah. If you're
calling them?
driving, you're not supposed to be using your cell phone
Well,
on the
I
road.
mean, you're not going to
So it's
remember
one of those things.
a huge long phone number when
Right.
someone's, going
Yeah.
past you or whatever.
Yeah. So is that phone number is then distracting from your branding, and the branding is the message that you want it to be. So like outdoor advertising shouldn't be a call to action advertising, it, the click here kind of thing on a website,
Mhm.
that's call to action. There's no click here for your van.
No,
Call now, right? Don't
no,
call now. Like, you
no.
don't need me right now.
Right.
Like How do you know you need a plumber when you're driving down the road? Like, do you know that, like, unless you just called me and I was driving home and you were like, the washing machine just blew up and there's water everywhere. That's when I would, and by chance I'm driving next to that guy or
Yeah.
filling up at the gas station
Right.
next to him, then I could be like, hey, can you help me out?
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
But talking about like what's the lifetime value of a customer when you look at like via graphics, like I mentioned, the ROI, like for most businesses, like if you gain a new client, a new customer, like how much is that person worth for the lifespan of that customer? Because are they going to be your customer for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, right? So, you know, could it be $1,000 a year for certain places? Could it be $500 a year? Could it be, $10,000 a year
Hmm.
for certain places? So like look at that, right? So say it's a $4,500 full wrap on a truck. You invested $4,500 up front. And I already said it's going to be on the road for 5 years. And your average lifespan of a customer is um, 10 years, right? So you're going to go through like two wraps over the course of that full lifetime investment into that customer. So $9,000 total invested, assuming that the price of the wrap stays exactly the same 5 years apart. But at, a $10,000 a year customer for, 10 years, $100,000.
Hmm.
So because you were able to make an impression one time and gain a customer and then have all of your other systems feed together with that branding and say, this is your place to do business for whatever that thing is. Now, you've 10x'd your investment on that one wrap. And that's if one person comes into contact with you,
Hmm.
and maybe it's not $10,000 a year lifespan, like do it at 1,000, right? So even though it's $1,000 a year, somebody's going to spend with you, right? Like, or maybe you're in a business where like, I don't know, maybe you're like a food service kind of thing, and maybe your dollar spend isn't as much, but maybe your customer acquisition rate is higher. So maybe you're picking up 100 customers per year instead of one or 10 or whatever,
Right.
or a month, 100 a month, right?
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, like a $4,500 investment still can pan out, even if you're on a small transaction
Mhm.
base
For
and you
sure.
have higher customer acquisition through better branding. Yeah.
Sure.
So, so sometimes like the vehicles are kind of the first touch point for somebody. You're establishing like uh localized, because you're using your vehicles in your local market where you're already doing business, you're creating local branding buzz, right? If I see the same company driving all the time, like I can think of right now in my head, I'm thinking of electricians that I see all the time around us. I'm thinking of,
Plumbing, heating,
yeah,
cooling.
the HVAC guys. I know which ones I see like all the time. And right now, if I needed something, the first thing I would think of is what are those companies that I know exist, and I know they exist because I've seen them around,
Mhm.
right? I didn't do a Google search first. Next, I might do a Google search, right?
Right.
Or I might think I know that person because we're in a smaller local market. So I would trust people that I know before I would trust people that I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, but my first impression is what drives that whole experience for me when I do need that service. And we're about to enter like a totally new world. Like I mentioned there, like I can Google to get like reviews, right? So Google reviews, you Google My Business, that's a really big deal. Because pretty soon, I mean, it's already happening. When you go to Google, you aren't Googling to find a listing of companies in your area. Right now, AI pops up first. It's not the sponsored ads. Like, so even if you're paying for Google ads,
Hmm.
you're not the top anymore, right? Um, the AI is now looking and trying to suggest an answer for you based off of the information that it's crawled below. So you now don't have to go through 5 websites to try and figure things out. The AI is now going through those 5 websites and presenting you an answer, right? So how long is it going to be before all of a sudden you can ask the the Amazon Echo in your house who you recommend for a plumber? Or maybe it goes even shorter than that, right? Like maybe it's even like you can be very specific someday and say, my son doesn't like Burger King and he doesn't like Taco Bell because that's true for whatever reason. So I need to get something from McDonald's for him. He wants a hamburger and fries. My daughter wants Taco Bell though, and she wants this. And me and my wife want Chinese food tonight. And now you've got an agent working with AI going out there, finding what's the best Chinese food restaurant, where's the nearest McDonald's, where's the nearest Taco Bell, How do I place an order? And they're door
Mm.
dashing stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, like three, hopefully vehicles with graphics on them, so you know who they are, show up to your driveway
Uh,
with your food, and you can tell like I want to eat at 7 o'clock tonight or whatever, and then all of a sudden we didn't lift a finger, and like that's the convenience factor that we're looking at. So it was convenient for us in the last 20 years to Google something and find a business, right? Now we're going to transcend that and we're going to go one step farther. And now AI is going to be the
so,
one making those decisions for us. And how are you going to be picked, right?
right.
Like you got to have you got to have a lot of things going on with your branding to be in place to be recommended by a robot,
Yeah.
which is what we're looking
Right.
at
Yeah.
probably sooner than we think,
Mhm.
so that's in the ethereal world of branding, right? And so the physical world is what people see, and that's vehicles, the signs, your uniforms, things that you're wearing, right? And it's probably a matter of time before that stuff doesn't end up changing too. Like we'll say it these days too. So we're branding a vehicle for somebody and they want that giant phone number, right? You don't need your phone number on there because if you've done a good job with your branding and you have a recognizable logo, somebody can then take their phone out and take a picture of it or look at it through something like Google Lens, and your phone recognizes the text and knows your website and it goes there. It like Google's you based off of your
Mhm.
image, right? And I've used it before. So like McDonald's, right? McDonald's never puts their phone number on their sign to see if you want to buy a hamburger while you're driving by.
Mhm.
So, like, why is that? Because they have really good branding. McDonald's is hamburgers. If you
Mhm.
want one, you know how to get it. Like,
Yep.
it is what it is, right?
Yep.
So, try and get your brand to that point where you don't have to have a call to action on your outdoor and mobile advertising.
Who you are, what you do.
Yep. And then one step further on the AI thing, we're getting more and more like CES just happened, right? And that's a Consumer Electronics Show. There was so much wearable technology out there
Hmm.
that looks at things and then interprets the surroundings of you, right? So like we've had that in the past, like Google Lens again was one of them that comes up quite often, or like Meta has the new glasses that have the little screen built into them, so it gives you notifications, and you can like now like write text responses back. So
Hmm.
while you're ignoring the person that you're looking at and they don't know, you can write. Yeah, it's weird stuff. But all of a sudden, we're going to be in a world where now, when wearable technology gets bigger, like I'm excited about a lot of the opportunities we have for mobile graphics because, like I was talking about this to you just the other day, where you're walking through like the supermarket or something, right?
Yep.
And you're looking at a product. Like I'm looking at spaghetti sauce, right?
Yep.
Why should I pick this brand versus this brand versus this brand? I'm wearing something that's wearable technology. Now, can something in the physical graphic world indicate to the glasses that you're wearing or whatever the technology is at the time to give you a blurb if you ask about it, right? If you say like, which one of these spaghetti
Yeah.
sauces
Tell me
is the
what's,
best?
yeah.
And now all of a sudden it starts showing customer reviews as I'm looking at it. And what if it's playing a commercial or an ad, right,
Mm.
from that company if I want to learn about the product, right? We already kind of have that with like the whole QR code thing, but you should have to take something out. So
Mhm.
it's going to change. So, like your brand, the physical appearance, the visibility of it in the real world, like walking up to a store, right? What if I was walking up to a Best Buy and I looked up and I saw the big yellow tag and I was wearing my glasses or whatever. And all of a sudden it started telling me what's on sale or what I should look at in the store, or going one step further than that. And whatever I've been looking for recently in my
Yeah.
browser history,
Oh,
it starts telling me that there's a TV inside that I looked at before and it's just got a price drop, right? So there's a lot
that's
of things that
crazy.
can happen, right?
Mhm.
And that's all branding,
Yep.
branding leads to that opportunity to be more in front of a customer and get more sales, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, a lot of future there, but whatever. Um, so I mean, so as visibility improves, you'll see those changes in your business. You'll get um, maybe a different clientele that starts to reach out. You'll get maybe a surge in inquiries, right? Whatever that may be. Uh, so better quality, higher quantity, right?
Just better recognition,
Yeah.
like, and like he kind of touched on earlier, Like, you might not get instant business, but what you're doing is putting yourself in front of those people. So when they need what you do, you're who they think of.
Yeah.
That's branding. Like having people remember who you are and what you do. So when they need what you do,
Yeah.
they'll come to you.
Yeah. And, it's not just about like decorating your vehicle or decorating your
No.
business, right? It's literally an investment for growth. So same as we said, branding is an investment, like your physical appearance of your branding
Mhm.
is also
Why
an
would you
investment.
spend $4,500 on one billboard for 3 months or 6 months when you can spend $4,500 on your vehicle and it lasts 5 years
Yeah.
and it's seen every day, no matter where you are?
Yeah.
That billboard, they have to be driving at that spot at that time,
Yeah.
right?
Or like you have to track that and say like I bought this billboard. What am I getting from that billboard exposure? Or you just have to be comfortable with that's how much I'm spending and this is what it is. So
Yeah.
there's different tiers of exposure, and it's just the same as like so like for us where we're located, right? Um we aren't like a main street brick and mortar business, and I don't believe that you have to have a main street brick and mortar business anymore in order to compete, because
Right.
you can have media like this where we can have conversations with people, uh, and a lot of things changed 5 or 6 years ago with Zoom calls and different styles of meetings that didn't exist so much before that,
Mhm.
right? When you drive past our space, nobody said it directly to us yet. Maybe this will bring it all out, but
Mm.
we don't have massive branding on the outside of our building. And one of the reasons for that, we got into that a little bit with one of our previous episodes with how much of a pain in the butt signage can be outdoors. We're actually zoned in our area to have the 2 square feet or
Yeah.
one and a half
Two
square
by
feet.
1, 1 by 2, I think
Yeah,
is
2 square feet of signage. And we have like 550 feet of road frontage. But because of where we're actually located, I can only have a
tiny little
tiny
sign.
little sign. Yeah. Um, so what we've done to compensate for that, because we don't rely on foot traffic or drive-by traffic, so that exterior presence isn't a big deal for me. But when you get up close to our shop, you'll notice that we've got stuff in our windows that shows off materials that we use quite often, and we've got the interiors of our spaces like decked out, and we're still even working on that. Like it's getting
Mhm.
better. So, like the brand space, primarily her office. It's got a totally different like got it made vibe about being organized and like unifying the things that we do, and that's where we have our presentations and meetings and where she generally works out of for like sales. And then this space is the space that I primarily live in for design, and it's got a little different feel, but it's still on brand. And when you walk out into our shop now, we put up a, what is it, 40 feet wide? We have a 40-foot by 10-foot banner that looks like a giant brick wall that hangs on the side of our install space. And the reason I did that is branding. When I am working on vehicles over there and I need to take pictures of them, I take a picture of across the roof, across the hood, and there is our brand, like as big as life can get it, man. It's
Mhm.
huge. And that's the same for this. We have branding behind us, right? So, so even if you don't have a fleet of vehicles, right? Even if you don't have a brick and mortar main street that needs a sign, whatever out front, there's still ways that you can brand your business to look cohesive and attract the right customers and grow
Yep.
faster, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so I think I think that kind of wraps it up for this episode here. And I think the next one we're probably going to talk about just some new ideas that we're seeing businesses do, like things that they're kind of getting right, and kind of explore some of those different tactics, right?
Yeah.
And that one should be a good one just to dive into. Like the format of these podcasts is we're guided, but also free to move about the space.
Yeah. Well, we
So
want you to like, they're topics that we see in our industry, but we want you to feel our like take on them and like how we experience them and
yeah,
and it might be different than other people, but like this is where we are and this is how we feel about things and the
yeah,
direction we want to go.
yep,
So
and hopefully this spurs on more interaction, and we can get some new people onto the podcast here soon too that kind of talk about what they've done.
Yeah.
It's different and interview them too.
Looking
So
forward to that.
yeah, definitely. Good. All right. See you next time.